Look.
What's that?
We are here to talk about a major takeover in the Dutch building industry. Nbm-Amstelland is taking over Wilma in the Netherlands. This is a logical step in the development of Nbm-Amstelland. By the way, the talks were held in a friendly mood.
Yes, but what is it?
Homes are going to be built on this site. This is what is known as a Vinex location.
And what exactly is Vinex?
Vinex, that's a kind of code name for a Dutch government plan to tackle the lack of space in the major cities. The government has designated a large number of locations where urban expansion has to be realized in the next few years. Vinex locations. In all, it amounts to nearly 650,000 homes by the year 2005. With, of course, the relevant infrastructure and employment, shopping and recreation facilities.
And what part does Nbm-Amstelland have to play in these developments?
Nbm-Amstelland is one of Holland's largest building contractors listed on the stock market. They started as a supplier of building materials, but have for a long time been involved in all kinds of other activities.
Such as?
They don't just supply building materials, but they are also actively involved with construction, producing the end product. And everything that involves, from project development to infrastructure. Project development in house building, offices, constructing roads, tunnels, harbors, railways, supplying building materials, concrete products, bricks, bulk. And they are also in the do-it-yourself market with two major and successful shopping formulas.
And that isn't enough?
Not enough? What do you mean?
Well, you said that Nbm-Amstelland is about to take over another construction group.
Wilma in the Netherlands.
Why Wilma?
Wilma is the largest house builder in Holland. Just the right piece to complete and complement Nbm-Amstelland. Because they are specialized in the development and completion of new building projects. And lots besides, of course.
Yes, but such as?
Property development, renovation, maintenance, building houses, business premises, creating recreation facilities, acquisition of building land, inner city projects. More?
Okay.
Let's go back to the source, back to basics. If you combine a supplier of building materials with a real house builder, you get a company with enormous potential. A company that has many more links in the chain. And that is an enormous increase in scale and in volume. That provides opportunities and possibilities. Money can be earned.
Could you possibly be a little less vague? I mean, increases in scale, links in the chain. Which chain?
The present way of building involves too many steps. It's too fragmented. Processes often have to be passed on to third parties, with all the risks that entails. You are confronted with the costs of failure and with the fact that the other parties have to make some money too.
So?
The profit margin on building a house is now far too narrow for the builder, because so many parties are involved. If you stay in control of all the stages, have them in-house, then that improves the margins greatly, with a direct increase in return.
And hence Wilma.
By cooperating with Wilma, Nbm-Amstelland is able to provide a new building concept. What has already happened in other fields is still fairly unusual in the building trade. Control of the overall process. Look, they have a land bank. Nbm-Amstelland has the concrete products. It supplies walls, floors, frontage. Wilma builds houses. From design through realization to completion. Nbm-Amstelland installs the infrastructure. Together, they are able to equip a complete location and to provide the finishing touches. They keep everything in their own hands, every step in the building process. So it's possible to work much more efficiently. Because they're able to equip a whole location, there's no unnecessary transport of material and people. And that saves a lot of money.
So that's why it's Wilma. Now I get it.
Wait a minute, we aren't there yet. This is only the start.
How come this is only the start? You have the land bank, the locations, you control the building process, you have volume. There's an increase in scale in the buying of building materials. That gives added value, so what else is there?
For whom is this product, the house, intended?
Well, for people, the people who are going to live there.
Exactly. And that's something that sometimes gets forgotten in Holland. Who do they work for? Not for the government, but for the people who are going to live there. They are the customers.
What are you trying to say?
Do you have any idea what a house buyer has to put up with? So far, the housing market has been a seller's market. The building companies just build and the customer will buy anyway. But in the future, it will increasingly become a buyer's market. You see, the buyer is going to get more choice. Choice in more expensive and better things. A higher quality and better finish. The buyer, that's what it's all about.
That sounds logical.
And Nbm-Amstelland and Wilma in the Netherlands want to take advantage of that now. By thinking more of the consumer, by putting the customer first, guiding buyers after sales service. They do market research, monitor the market with buyer panels and other sounding boards. This consumer orientation is essential. Look, it's been like that for years in the car industry. They don't make cars that no one wants to buy. The same applies to Nbm-Amstelland and Wilma in the Netherlands. Building what the customer wants.
House by house by house.
Yes, before the house is finished, they give the customers, the buyers, an opportunity to decide how the house, their house, should be finished. They present them with the alternatives. They advise them, but leave the choice up to them. That is modern service.
How do you do it?
How do you want it? With or without a dormer window? What kind of bathroom fittings? Which steps, which tiles? The buyer even has the chance to choose the bathroom tiles in advance, so that he doesn't have to knock them out later. Now that's service, or isn't it? For instance, Wilma has for years maintained close links with various showrooms. Nbm-Amstelland is owner of 2 major do-it-yourself chains in Holland. When a consumer has bought his house, you give him a customer card and then he can go back to the same people to add the finishing touches. That is meerwaarde. That's added value. Those are real assets. What it all comes down to is that the customer will soon only have to deal with one company. He can go to one person that organizes everything for him. One-stop shopping. The customer has the choice. And there are already contacts with banks to take care of the financial side of things, the mortgage, insurance.
Well, that's all quite something, so why didn't anyone think of it before?
What you end up with is a total concept unique in Holland. A building and accommodation concept in which everything is brought together in one house. And that more than 7,500 times a year.
7,500?
Wilma in the Netherlands and Nbm-Amstelland have a land bank for the next 6 years for the construction of at least 40,000 dwellings. Houses in all shapes and sizes and in all price classes. All bearing the Wilma mark of quality.
Combining forces, Wilma houses.
Nbm-Amstelland and Wilma in the Netherlands provide an added value, a surplus. 1 + 1 is 3. This takeover creates one of the largest building concerns in Holland. The market leader in the housing industry.
Thank you very much.
You said why Wilma? And I said, that's why Wilma.